Sounds good.
All right, our first question. I watched the episode where you generated that pickleball paddle ad with multiple aspect ratios for different platforms in one prompt. I tried something similar for my product and the image looked great, but I have no idea how to make sure it actually fits my brand. How do I get ChatGPT to generate images that look like they belong to my business and not just a generic ad?
Yeah. So the way that I do that is examples. Like examples. If you want it to follow something specific, you have to give it examples.
Yeah.
So what that can look like is you could point it at your website. You could take a screenshot of your website. You could give it pictures of your product. Give it your logo explicitly. And when I say give it, I mean just drop it into the chat. Um, and that is going to get you way more personalized images than if you just say like, hey, here's my product. And even sometimes I would say then if you just give them a website, if you give it images, it's going to do a way better job. Now that it's probably not going to do a perfectly within brand standards, brand guidelines job, even if you were to give it your brand standards. So be
Mhm.
prepared to iterate, just give it feedback, ask for another version. But just by giving it a few images, you'll get way better, more on brand results.
Yeah, and like we talked about earlier, I think one of the big advancements of most of these tools is their ability to iterate on the things that you want changed and not.
Yes.
It used to be with ChatGPT, it would kind of reimagine every single time. It couldn't retain that info, so iteration was difficult. But you can now, and give it your colors, give it your typeface, give it specific direction like that. And like Chris said, tons of examples. The more you give it, the better output you're going to get from it.
Yeah, and I'm just firing up an
Mm,
image in ChatGPT right now.
mm.
Uh,
Pull that up.
yeah, I did this poorly, so give me just one sec. There we go. I just told it to make me an ad, was not specific enough, and it gave me a text ad. No, an image ad for Facebook. And I just gave it the website. I was like, make me an ad for the paddles at dinky.com. It gave me this written ad. That's great. That's actually really nice.
Might use that later.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But now it's going to give me an image. And I want to show you something in particular that in many of these tools, like ChatGPT, like Gemini, when you're asking for edits on images, there are
Mm,
some tools you might not be aware of. In ChatGPT, you can, and in Gemini, I'm pretty sure, you can go in and circle or
mhm,
mark up the image. So when it makes its next pass, it has the additional context in the image itself and not just in your written text. So if you say something like, oh, this logo is wrong, and you circle it in the image, use this instead, and then you drop in the image to your actual logo that you wanted to use, it can know like exactly what and where you're talking about in your image.
mhm.
Or replace this paddle, in my case, pickleball paddles, you circle the paddle with this other paddle, and I drop in an image of one of the other paddles, and it just makes it much more likely that it's going to make the change you're hoping it makes.
Mhm.
Okay, so we got this. These actually, let's do that really quick. I'm going to go to my website and I'm going to grab an image of one of these paddles. So I'm going to grab this image. We'll copy that, go back over here, share this tab, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to edit. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to select these. I'm just going to do kind of a crummy job just to show you how fast it goes. Okay, so we got that. And then, whoops, I'll say, sorry, let me save that image I had downloaded, or of the paddle. So I'm going to drop in the image of this paddle. Oops. Oops. And I'll say, use this paddle instead. Drop that in there. And now it's going to go through. And my hope is it's going to replace the paddles that I highlighted with this paddle.
Unrehearsed.
Yes. Yeah.
When we when we were doing over at AWeber, we were doing a lot of social content with our mascot AJ, and we were using several AI tools to bring AJ to life, and typically in kind of funny, memorable situations. But one of the things that it struggled with, and it's gotten a lot better at, but the learning was the same, was it would kind of reimagine AJ a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Little things would be different, AJ's face or his helmet or their helmet or something. And so I would feed it. I had generated front, back, and side views of a consistent AJ that I liked, that was accurate, and so I would feed it to it every time. So like being explicit, and that while the tools have gotten better, again, still the more explicit you are. This is an example when Chris explicitly tells it which paddle to use. It produces a result that's closer to what he wants.
And the really neat thing about this is, to the point about these tools giving you better tools to give guidance, it didn't change the rest of the image because I didn't ask it to. Like in the past, I might have said replace the paddle, and it would have rewritten the whole ad copy.
Yep.
In this case, I told it, I highlighted where I wanted it to replace. I gave it the new thing that I wanted there instead of what was there, and that was all it changed. If I want to change something else, I can ask for those changes, but it's just actually listening to me and doing targeted, precise changes. It's really cool.
Yeah, and that's a huge leap forward. I mean, that's just incredible.